On this edition of Somerville Neighborhood News, bringing conversations on race and racism to the neighborhoods, music and art team up to create a summer village, funding the future with the Somerville High School Scholarship Foundation, and Halloween haunts in the Ville.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Somerville Neighborhood News. Today is October 20th, 2015, and I'm Melanie Morris. Somerville Neighborhood News is your bi-monthly newscast and online source for multimedia news. It's a community service production of SCAT TV, created by staff, interns, and your neighbors. We bring you the news every 2 weeks on Channel 3 and on our website, somervilleneighborhoodnews.org. Race relations are once again a topic of conversation. Police confrontations, income inequality, and educational access have brought the issue back to the forefront. Somerville is tackling this topic through a series of conversations throughout the city. Our reporter, Ellie Romano, has more.
The city of Somerville recognizes it is a critical time in the nation to take part in the conversation on race and racism. With the last 2 years full of highly publicized events involving racism and the growth of the Black Lives Matter movement, the mayor and his administration decided now is the key moment to take this national conversation and bring it to a local level through community conversations.
I read in the Somerville Journal of an incident making it clear that there is racism in Somerville. Nobody wants there to be racism in our city. In fact, one of the reasons I stayed in Somerville as long as I have is because it's a very ethnically diverse city.
Carla Rabb is one of the many residents participating in the city's community conversations on race and racism. It's not an easy subject to talk about. The city wants to learn more about residents' experiences and perceptions on the topic through these talks. These conversations provide a safe place for members of the community to talk openly about racism and offer suggestions on ways to combat the issue.
I'm expecting a lot of sort of feedback and really good recommendations for the city and just people to get out and share what they believe and have a space to do so.
These conversations are being held throughout the month of October in each of the city's 7 wards. Doug Kress, Director of Health and Human Services for the city, helped in getting this off the ground.
If you notice all the locations that we're hosting these in, they're not in city buildings, they're actually in community buildings. And that's important to me, because I want to make sure that people feel comfortable to coming to the different locations, but also we should be going to the community, not the community coming to us.
Each meeting is led by trained facilitators to keep the conversations moving and to ensure that participants feel comfortable sharing their opinions and concerns. Natasha Naeem is one of those facilitators. She prepared for this by observing how people interact in difficult situations and learning how to maintain balance during heated conversations.
Facilitator is someone who listens to the group, who's able to sort of move the conversation around. If someone's hogging the space or just sort of talking too much, talking too little, just getting a better sense of third party in the group to sort of be able to make sure things don't get too rough and raw.
With that, I'm going to hand it over to the facilitators. I'm not sure who is starting us out.
The Somerville Police Department, led by Chief David Fallon, has been vocal in its support of the Black Lives Matter campaign. A police officer has attended each conversation thus far to listen and support the process. Organizers hope these meetings are just the beginning of a conversation on race and racism.
The idea was to get them to participate in hopes that they would continue the conversation either in their own home or come back to another community conversation, or with the recommendations that they're bringing forward to begin a different type or a different series of conversations within this.
Each conversation has its own focus, making sure all segments of the community are heard. The city has teamed up with the group Teen Empowerment for an upcoming conversation. This talk will be a forum for the city's youths to share their thoughts on race and racism.
I'm really excited for that one, to just kind of see the perspective that the young people are coming from, and I think when we're hearing the experience stages, I think that content will probably vary from what we've heard in the past, just because of the generational difference.
After all of the conversations are completed, the community's recommendations on how to handle racism will be compiled and then presented to Mayor Curtatone. This information will help form a way forward in improving race relations in Somerville. Somerville resident Henry Parker participated in the very first community conversation. As a longtime community activist, he welcomes the openness of the conversations and recognizes that change takes time.
It's going to be a very slow and ongoing process. There's an old saying, dissatisfaction brings about change. The more people are vocal, the mayor seems open to change, which is a positive thing. And they got to focus on the youth, because the older generation, they're not going to change their mindset.
For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Ellie Romano.
Conversations on race and racism are scheduled through the end of October. Visit somervillema.gov/calendar for dates, times, and locations. Somerville is known for its music scene and its commitment to community service. So when one nonprofit teamed up with local musicians and a video director, the result proved we are truly a summer village. Our Brendan Donahue brings us more.
It all started because Michaela from Newfangled Studios, she lives in Somerville, and she sent us an email and she said, I appreciate the work that you do. I live in Somerville. I'd like to help. She said she wanted to do a video and we needed a band to do a song in the background. I said, well, there's this, my favorite band, most of them live in Somerville. Let me ask them if they would do it. So, I sent Ryan an email and he said, sure, right away.
I think a lot of bands would have done what we did. It was a pleasure, and I think
we got lucky.
Fun. Right.
But it's a win-win situation. It gives Somerville Homeless Coalition, a little spotlight, and kind of draws people's attention to ways that they can contribute, whether it's running in their road races or just contributing money. It gives us, a little more exposure, and the studio Q Division as well. It's like kind of a win-win situation for everyone that's involved. So
That Yes became the soundtrack to a new promotional video for the Somerville Homeless Coalition. The band, Hallelujah the Hills, has also released it as a single on their Bandcamp.
I love the song. And then, because I thought that they really sort of capture what we were trying to say about It Takes a Summer Village, but they also got the, that hip Somerville energy.
Another signature event though is Porch Fest. I think that
originated
here.
We sing about it in the song.
Yep.
Along with Fluff.
Yep, Fluff Fest. Also, Honk Fest in Davis Square.
Like just happened.
Right, that's a thing you'd never get away with anywhere else.
Somerville has always prided itself as the most dense city for artists in New England. And, artists are struggling. It's like here's Somerville going through this massive, gentrification displacement. And so people who came here years ago because it was an affordable place to live where they could get, loft space, studio space, are struggling.
Even though some artists themselves are struggling to remain in the city, they are always ready to help out the Homeless Coalition and other Somerville nonprofits.
Johnny Dees has had the Christmas Cavalcade. This year will be the 11th year. Chandler Travis gets all these great musicians to come, and they have this hysterical night of holiday music, mostly profane, but some serious. That's 11 years. Redbones has done a pig roast for us, and they get all these bands to play, during the pig roast, like the Second Line Band that just, had the Honk Festival here in Davis Square. The Burren does a show with Irish music for us every December. It's wonderful. I think that's really, to me, what makes Somerville such an exciting place.
For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Brendan Donahue.
You can find the full video at somervillehomelesscoalition.org and download the song It Takes a Summer Village at hallelujahthehills.bandcamp.com. In 1990, the average cost of 1 year at a U.S. college was $6,000. Last fall, students were looking at an average of $20,000 a year. The Somerville High School Scholarship Foundation has been helping Somerville graduates meet those financial challenges for 25 years. At its silver anniversary, the group stopped to acknowledge its successes with an eye to the challenges ahead.
The Somerville iSchool Scholarship Foundation recently celebrated its 25th anniversary with a gala event that recognized the growth of the foundation and honored 6 longtime supporters. WBZ news anchor David Wade served as Master of Ceremonies. Wade grew up in Somerville and attended the Brown School.
My favorite learning experience at the Brown School, 5th grade, I had Mrs. Mackey. She was outstanding. And I remember at the time we had, and this is going to make me sound very old, but we had a new computer. And this was a big deal because this would have been like 1984. And I want to say it was an Apple computer. But using this computer, we were able to make our own programs and print things out, and it would print out slowly on that big paper, and it would take forever. And I loved it because I had never seen anything like it before. And leaving there was really, really difficult. But Mrs. Mackey, I'll never, ever forget. 2nd grade, I remember I had Mrs. Tomlinson, who was sort of a strict disciplinarian, but I loved her. And I have nothing but fond memories for that school.
This is the kind of learning experience that Somerville schools still inspire. The foundation was founded to allow students to pursue those kinds of aha moments. Since 1990, the foundation has awarded nearly $1 million to over 800 Somerville I graduates. Joe Favellaro is president of the foundation.
The headmaster at Somerville High School, Tony Fideli, basically wanted to organize a group of business and educational and civic leaders to raise funds to help Somerville High School students achieve their higher education goals.
U.S. Representative Michael Capuano was the mayor of Somerville when the foundation began. Capuano and his wife Barbara launched Home First Charities that distributed over $750,000 to nonprofit throughout Somerville. Among them, the Somerville High School Scholarship Foundation. Barbara Capuano was one of the Evening 6 honorees.
I think it's a big deal for the Scholarship Foundation. I mean, they've been now 25 years. They've given away a lot of money. They've helped so many students, and they do it all out of their hearts and just because it's important to the city. So I appreciate everything they did. And for me, it's an honor because they're honoring me on behalf of Home First Charities. And I am so proud of what our organization did while we existed. And it's nice to be recognized.
Michael Capuano underlined the need to support more students in Somerville.
I just think both organizations, Home First and the Scholarship Foundation, are classic examples of Somerville people helping their own. We're a small city, and from the outside, everybody sees, especially today, they see some people with some disposable income and not a big deal. They don't need much help. That's people who don't understand what Somerville's all about. Yes, we have more people with disposable income today. We still have an awful lot of people that need a little help, especially for things like scholarships and other items. And if we don't help them, no one will.
In 2015, 60 students benefited from the scholarships and nearly $70,000 was distributed. But with the rising price of college, the foundation is facing new challenges. Alderman Bill White was a trustee of the Somerville High School Scholarship Foundation in the mid-1990s.
It's even more of a difference because of the tremendous costs that children and parents have to bear when the kids go to college, and also the debt that a lot of folks have to get into now to finance a college education. This provides a lot of help for Somerville students.
David Chesnick is one of those students. The scholarship he received made a big difference in his confidence heading to college.
When I was looking ahead to college and applying for scholarships, I remember feeling definitely a sense of urgency and a little bit of a daunting task lay ahead. And I was surrounded by peers, and we were all experiencing the same sort of anxieties about not just moving out of Somerville and going away, but figuring out how to sustain that and how to last 4 years wherever it was we were going.
Elin Chesnick attended the gala with her son. Chesnick was honored for her 25 years as foundation treasurer. She encourages every Somerville student to apply.
When he was graduating, he must have filled out 30 applications for scholarships. Now, most of the scholarships are under our umbrella. so that students can fill out one application and apply it to any number of scholarships. So they have no excuse not to apply.
Favaloro said this night was about celebrating the foundation accomplishments, but knows there is still a lot to be done as college costs rise and the number of students increases. For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Kelly Thomas.
To find out more about getting involved with the foundation or for scholarship information, visit shssf.wordpress.com. Now, let's see what's in this week's Somerville Journal.
Hello, this week in the Somerville Journal, we'll have coverage of the Haitian-Brazilian Festival. We'll have a look at campaign finance reports on the eve of the election. We'll be checking out a restaurant that wants to stay open until 4 in the morning. You can always find us online at somerville.wickedlocal.com. Catch us on Twitter at VilleJournal, and you can get in touch with me at 617-629-3385 or datkinson@wickedlocal.com.
Giving Tuesday Somerville is a collaboration between 14 Somerville nonprofits. It brings the nonprofit community together to support each other and to get the word out. We're here to help, and we can use your help. This week we profile 4 more organizations participating in Giving Tuesday Somerville this fall.
There was a huge need for women living in domestic violence. We were groundbreakers, and there was this growth, and we were trying to teach and make the community listen.
And the reason that you had to care.
We find the support groups are probably, one of the more significant programs that we have, that women find strength and get strength from each other by sharing experiences.
We'd like to thank you for being the hometown hero that you are. So please accept this, and congratulations to you and your organization, and keep doing some great work at this fund.
I think Somerville's biggest strength is how well balanced we are in terms of diversity. So we don't only have young people or old people. We have people of all ages, all the way from infants to elderly. We have people that have immigrated from a lot of different countries, bringing with them different experiences and strengths and knowledge.
I think Groundwork Somerville is life-changing. It's taken upon myself because it helped me care about the earth more than I did before.
Groundwork Somerville's work focuses on improving the community and environmental health in Somerville. So because we're the most densely populated city in New England, we have to take advantage of the really small spaces that we have around the city.
To inspire and enable
all young people,
especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as
productive, caring, responsible citizens.
And Girls Club allows kids to do. It allows them to explore science. It allows them to explore the arts. It allows them to explore physical fitness. Kids will say to me, I'm not really into basketball. I can't do anything for physical fitness. Well, then we do exergaming with them. And it gives them an opportunity to move, to dance, to enjoy themselves, and at the end of the day to make themselves healthy without even knowing it. And it's one of those things that makes Boys and Girls Club, and especially this club, unique.
We can get the teens what they need to feel supported, to feel involved, to feel needed, and to feel productive.
It's like, before he got here, I never had confidence in myself, but now I do. Thank you.
It feels like home,
Somerville Community Access Television is a community media center located right in the heart of Union Square. In 1983, when cable television was new, SCAT TV was the first public access television station in Massachusetts. Today, SCAT TV continues to serve as a free speech venue.
Being a part of teen empowerment has opened my eyes as far as, or try to make me see different perspectives, like where they're coming from.
¿Cuál cree usted es el porcentaje de la población en Somerville afectada con la obesidad?
Es mucho, yo pienso que un 90-80%.
Específicamente no sé el número, pero pienso que hay mucho.
Your idea in terms of how to get a better, closer working relationship with our representatives in Washington.
Well, that's going to be key, obviously, because of funding and other issues.
I believe right behind Bread and Puppet should be the pickup band, randomly formed last night in the middle of Hog Festival. They sound fantastic. That's right.
All this and more on Somerville Neighborhood News.
You can support the Giving Tuesday campaign online at givingcommon.org/Giving Tuesday Somerville, or by sending a check to Groundwork Somerville at 24 Park Street, number 7, Somerville, Mass. 02143. Please put Giving Tuesday Somerville in the memo line. Somerville Neighborhood News will continue to profile Giving Tuesday nonprofits through the end of November. Time to take control of that collective sweet tooth, America, and I'm probably the #1 offender. In tonight's Medical Minute, Dr. Ira Michelson gives excess sugar intake a sour review.
Hello, Dr. Ira Michelson for the Somerville Neighborhood News. I want to talk to you today about sugar. America has a sugar problem. It's estimated that we're having almost 1/3 of a pound of sugar per day for each and every one of us. That's way too much. And as a result of this, we have an obesity epidemic and an epidemic of diabetes in this country right now. We have between 1/3 of us, almost 1/3 of the population is now diabetic, far more than used to be the case before. Where do we get this sugar? The basic sugar comes either from cane sugar or beet sugar. It's called sucrose. But sugar today is added to everything from coffee to yogurt to candy naturally to bread to breakfast cereal. So I think it's very important whenever possible to choose the low sugar option. This way, not only will we be consuming less of this, but we're less likely to gain weight and get into the complications that follow from the excess weight, diabetes, hypertension, and eventually heart disease. So this is something we've all got to pay attention to. Naturally, we want things that taste good, but we want to avoid the excess sugar. So read the labels. If you have a choice, go for the low sugar option or go for the no sugar option. You'll be better off in the long run. 1/3 of a pound of sugar per American per day is way too much, and we're all paying the price for it. For the Neighborhood News, Dr. Ira Michelson, thank you.
You can watch Dr. Ira Michelson on Taking Back Your Health on Thursdays at 7 p.m. on Channel 3 or anytime on scattvsomerville.org. Somerville resident Sam Beltrusis is a paranormal researcher and author. Once the presence of a ghost or spirit has been detected, he delves into the location's history to find out who the presence might be and why they've come calling. Sam recently published his 3rd book, 13 Most Haunted in Massachusetts. Join us on a visit to one of Somerville's most notable haunts, introduced by Sam.
I wrote a book about the 13 most haunted locations in Massachusetts. The book, 13 Most Haunted in Massachusetts, also features my hometown, which is Somerville. A lot of locations in Somerville that didn't make my most haunted list. However, I did feature this location, which is the haunted loading dock at the Spirit Halloween store in Somerville's Assembly Square. This location was a circuit city for several years, and then it closed down. A lot of squatters, they were here at this location, so it was vacant. And we came in 3 years ago with Spirit Halloween, and we initially heard phantom footsteps. We heard what sounded like a gunshot.
I was in the back warehouse, and I was opening boxes, bringing costumes out, and I swear I felt something push me in the small of my back and just push me right down. So a little while later that day, I was cutting up boxes, but closer to the door this time. And all of a sudden I felt I was right near the wall, and somebody pulled my hair, and it wasn't just a little tug. My head got literally yanked back. I yelled, I turned around, and I swear there was a young man standing there. My friend came running in, Roxy, that works here, running what happened, and the gentleman disappeared. And we went all the way and back, and there was nobody there.
This is a theory, this is Somerville speak, so it's not substantiated, that a gentleman was hiding in here from prison, and someone ratted him out, and police found him and shot him in the loading dock. So that's the legend. Do I believe it? I'm not sure, but it would explain the phenomena that's happening here. So if you hear phantom footsteps, I find out why they're phantom footsteps. If there's an alleged ghost at a location, I try to find out who that ghost is. And a lot of times, the ghosts are trying to tell you something. And I feel like that this spirit at this location, if it is a spirit, is trying to tell us that he was ratted out and he has a story to be told. I went from being terrified of spirits and of ghosts to telling their story. It's my passion to tell the story of these spirits and hopefully let them move on to the next level or to the light.
Beltrusis will be holding a book signing and screening of a half-hour documentary based on the book, Tuesday, October 27th from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Somerville Theater. For tickets, visit eventbrite.com and search 13 Most Haunted. Here are a few other hauntingly fun events to enjoy this month. The Woman in Black visits the Davis Square Theater on October 26th, 7th, and 8th at 8 p.m. This dark play follows a British solicitor who is drawn deeper and deeper into the secrets of the Woman in Black. To purchase tickets, visit thewomaninblack.ppt.me. On Thursday, October 29th, Scat TV Cinema Somerville presents a night of Halloween-themed festivities with spooky music from Boston Free Radio DJ Dan Burke, followed by the family-friendly Halloween cartoons and the horror classic House on the Haunted Hill. This event is free to the public. And City Hall dresses up in Halloween finery for Haunted Hall on Thursday, October 29th from 6 to 8 p.m. Kids are invited to join the costume stroll, go trick-or-treating, and enjoy games and refreshments. Happy hauntings! This is our newscast for tonight. We'll be back on November 3rd at 7 p.m. on Channel 3. In the meantime, check out our news stories at somervilleneighborhoodnews.org. Also, visit our Facebook page, Scat TV SNN, to comment and share your favorite segments. Tweet us at Scat TV SNN. We welcome you to get involved, become a reporter, or just share your story ideas. Feel free to call us at 617-628-8826 or email us at news@scatvsomerville.org. I'm Melanie Morris. Thanks for joining us. You can join me on Bay State Biking News every Wednesday at 9 p.m. here on Scat TV, and we'll see you around the neighborhood.